Hello and welcome to the EmpowerHer Play podcast. My name is Yashmin. This is Salma and this is Shafia. And today we have Rooful Ali here from Emerald Network.
Welcome.
Assalamualaikum. You okay?
Welcome.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for coming.
Thank you for coming.
Thank you.
So we just wanted to learn a little bit more about Emerald Network and what you do. So if you can give us a brief details of what that is.
Yeah, sure. So Emerald Network is a volunteer-run Muslim social network designed to connect professionals from all backgrounds together. Incredibly founded 20 years ago. So
wow.
At the time,
I thought it was a new organisation.
No, quite the opposite. So 20 years. So 2004, after Ramadan, we founded it. Our intention back then has literally evolved from what it is then, was just to do monthly in-person events, connecting people. So restaurant-based, cafe-based. And since then, obviously, we can go on in more detail later.
Why did you feel there was a need for that?
Yeah, I think it was a case of, if you think from the, I know it's a cliche Muslim professional, but the Muslim professional scene, whether you're a doctor, dentist, banker, lawyer, what do you do socially? And obviously there are workplace environments, but when there's things that pub and bar related, not comfortable at all.
Yeah.
And obviously people can go have their J2Os, and in those days when Coca-Cola wasn't on a different list, people have their Coke. And then it was a case of desperately trying to fit in. It's just not the same.
And how many Cokes are you going to have? And how many J2Os are you going to have, isn't it? It's like you have one and that's enough now.
That's the thing. And that's what we thought, there must be something in another environment. And it wasn't trying to be them and us, quite the opposite, but to say we can host things like curry nights on its
But that was quite forward thinking, wasn't it? Because 2004, we didn't really talk about ED&I. That's this new buzzword that's come out in the last few years.
Which means?
Equality, diversity and inclusion.
Oh, right, okay.
So none of the workplaces were talking about that. I mean, 2004, I think I was at Barclays back then, and their new building, they put in a prayer room, and it was a really nice prayer room. And I think that was quite advanced thinking in terms of their new build. They put that in there. Not many of the offices had prayer spaces. I mean, we had to go to the utility room or the first aid room to do our prayers when we first started working there. So it's quite forward thinking for Emerald Network.
Yeah, at the time, we thought, let's see how long we can keep it going. Because obviously everyone knows the calendar year just go nothing. And then Ramadan, nothing, Eid events and whatever. But we thought...
So what's your background? Like, where were you at this point before Emerald?
Yeah, so I was, just to explain professionally, I'm a chartered accountant by profession. I used to work for Grant Thornton as an accountancy firm, and that was based in Euston. And then back then, as you mentioned about the first aid room, I remember the prayer facility as well. So there was nothing dedicated. And in terms of the number of Muslims in my workplace, sadly you can almost count it on two hands.
I think I was the only hijabi.
Yeah, exactly.
So it came from a personal
thing
as well,
I just thought, yes, as much as you love your work colleagues, there must be something beyond the world of accountancy. So let's look at other sectors. But then I realised there were silos. So silos are there by ethnicity. Pakistanis doing their own thing, Moroccans doing their own thing, Somalis doing their own thing, Bengalis doing their own thing.
Yeah.
If I just said, let's bring all Muslims together, that's the beauty of Islam. Obviously, literally driven by created in nations and tribes to get to know one another. Let's see what we can do. So tribes being heritage, also profession and location.
So what did the first event look like?
The first event, those who are familiar with London, they might know Drummond Street, which is near Euston. It's a good old
Tally place.
Yeah, that's it, exactly. So there was a place at the end of Drummond Street called Zamzamar, which was like quite a contemporary restaurant, and fond memories because it's almost as though, not being harsh on Drummond Street, it's as though it should be Mayfair because it was that nice. It was like Alcantara seating, glass. In those days, plasma screens showing retro Bollywood films and whatever. But it was so nice as a contemporary space. And I thought, it's that cliche Muslim professional, but give something quite premium feel. And we used to take over their basement on a Monday night. So the final Monday of every month, we tried to see, kept it going. And the numbers purely word of mouth.
And how did you advertise this? Because I'm guessing like social media wasn't.
That's right. So it was classic, back to basics. Forward on the emails. And in those days, good old text messaging before WhatsApp.
So how many people turned up for this first event?
So the first event was like 36 people. I vividly remember it.
Amazing.
So from the double-digit 10, 12 work colleagues, I'd say, look, forward it on. So most people bought 2 or 3 friends each, 2 or 3 friends. So beyond accountancy, we had obviously people in still finance sector, legal sector, then those medics and everything, which is
and
great.
A mix of men and women.
Yeah, it was. But then what we did notice, and massive respect to you guys, it's almost we're demonstrating the ratio. 2/3 used to be female, and that's always stuck by. And there'll be some events where as many as 70% are female. It's just one of those.
I was expecting it to be the other way around.
Yeah, because men feel more comfortable at that time anyway. Men felt more comfortable going to the pub and probably staying on a bit longer. But if you were a Muslim female, going to a pub wasn't really your scene. I mean, you'd go there for one drink, but then you'll feel really out of place.
Out of place, exactly.
So this was something that they can connect with.
That's it. And it was, nice, safe environment, 100% alcohol free. So obviously in the early days, we probably chose restaurants which were licensed. Obviously the space we'd hire will be obviously alcohol being served. But then the way we've evolved since is literally we can't have alcohol.
But now you have a massive following, isn't it?
Alhamdulillah. Yeah. So the way it's evolved, it's probably, I don't know, 20,000 roughly as an estimate in terms of.
So how do these events look now or work now?
I would say I don't know what it is, but definitely the last 5 to 8 years out of the 20 years, it's just which propelled us to another level by just being innovative, creative, because I don't know what it is, but it's all about ideas generation.
So what kind of ideas is it?
To give an example, so we were, and obviously alhamdulillah for everything basically, we were the first to do like iftars in landmark buildings. So iftar in the Shard, iftar in the Gherkin, iftar at the Waldorf. These are big name hotels and venues, but we thought, let's be the first. And since then, we've inspired other charities to do things, which is great. We were the first to do like New Year's Eve comedy gala. And that was with a big name charity basically, because they had their UK tour. And myself and the colleague from the charity thought, let's try and be different for the New Year's Day. We don't really celebrate Gregorian calendar New Year's Eve, but most people at home, why not do that? So now 10 years on, that given charity, they're celebrating their 10th year of doing the New Year's Eve gala as such.
So is it still one event every month?
Yeah, incredibly. So 20 years, literally every single month for 20 years, alhamdulillah, we've done something. And it's not just one thing. This year, but this is 2024, I think nearly 40 events this year.
And is it all over? Like, is it all
over now. So where once upon a time it was strictly London and strictly central London, the way we've evolved, it's all down to volunteers and availability. So we've done this year stuff in Bradford, we've done Manchester, Birmingham. Historically, we've done Edinburgh, Cambridge, Oxford. Yeah, Leicester. Yeah, so it's been really good. And we've also done overseas as well. Which is amazing.
Nice.
Shafia had a question.
I had a question, sorry. I've got to find it first. Don't carry on talking.
I'll give you an example. Like the overseas ones, those cities I've rattled off for UK, it's been amazing. There's an organisation called IslamicTravels.com, which happens to be Bengali founded, kind of thing. And we collaborated with them, gosh, it must have been, again, over 15 years ago when they founded. And we said, let's do Islamic heritage trips. There's ones and twos that we'd all love to travel, but some people might think safety in numbers.
MSA lot are asking them for another trip because we did Bosnia a couple of years
fantastic,
ago.
Mashallah,
and they were like, Yashmin, can you do another one? I was like, I have to find where to go. They want to go to Uzbekistan. But it's just finding like a tour group that would take us there.
That's where we can help. That's where
show us around. I don't want the headache of trying to work everything out.
That's exactly what we thought. We're all busy and everything, and the lack of know-how and everything. So IslamicTravels.com, we collaborated and we've done Istanbul, we've done Bosnia, Uzbekistan, we've done Azerbaijan, we've done Andalusia, Jordan and Jerusalem. It's just been amazing, and inshallah next year we'll do some stuff as well.
Oh wow, that sounds amazing.
My question is, what's one of your toughest lessons you've learned in your career, and how did you shape your approach?
Career or the Emerald? What would you like?
I think the Emerald would be.
Emerald, Talk about your career as well.
So accountancy-wise, I'll be honest. Actually, I did.
Because you're not an accountant now.
No. Literally for the last decade, I've been freelance business consulting and creative consulting. And the creative consulting is obviously branding, design and photography has always been my passion, so I've made that into almost like a professional service. So logos and things that you might recognise from a number of Muslim organisations. Quietly, that was me behind the scenes. So
amazing.
It's been quite good on that. And photography, that's just taken me literally around the world, for NGOs.
That's how I met Rooful Ali. I think a lot of he's been in the background taking photos and stuff like that.
Exactly.
Really?
Yeah. So that's so I think the interesting, when you say a tough thing or a challenge, the reality is obviously, I think it's a case of, I don't know what it is. There's time. Time is one thing, as a resource. We know, irrespective of a background, profession, we've got the same thing, which is called time. And to me, balancing time, it's not easy. Something has to give. And I think it's a case of my inability to say no, end up doing too much, basically. So spread yourself thinly. And I think that's like not a great thing. And I obviously keep learning, or do things differently next year. But you don't, you get in the habit. So habitually, time management to be able to just do fewer, more quality things instead of spread yourself thinly, whatever. But as you said, as a challenge, definitely post-COVID, the last 5 years or so, it's been amazing because I've been people smile, but I'd say ruthless Rooful. In a sense, so ruthless Rooful. Oh no, you go, oh wow, he's not working with us. No, sorry, because the calendar's full.
Yeah,
Whereas before, I'd try and squeeze it in, and that wasn't great.
Yeah.
Obviously.
So the kind of events that you do photograph and run, is it mainly Muslim-led events now?
Yeah, so when it came to photography, like everyone starts off, or those who are photographers, they start off on a personal hobby. So it could be, they love travel photography and they turn travel photography into something. Or in my case, I used to do friends' weddings, but just as a guest initially. But then good old Facebook back in the days, I'll upload my version of an album with like 15, 20 shots, which are like very moment-driven, emotion-driven, very arty, whereas everyone else can do point shoots. But I'll do that very, oh my gosh, you caught that in a different angle, you caught that emotion, my father, different side profile, tears and stuff like that. Or where we're now used to food shots, but the good old lay flat, keep it but those I'll do arty kind of angles where I'll get the phone and put light at 45 degrees and take shots. And little things like that. Then I got invited by friends of friends to do their weddings, and obviously I don't do wedding photography anymore, but literally over a decade. In 2017, alhamdulillah, the UK EPAS, which is Event Photography Awards, I won the wedding category.
Congratulations.
So thank you so much. And that, if I may say so, for those who are on Instagram, you can see it at my @Rooful account. It's just a classic shot. It's a couple who are literally jumping in the air. And I've literally called it Love Is a
Can you take pictures of me? But you know what? I've got to apologise because the moment you said accountant, I judged you.
No. I'll be honest.
I just judged you and I put you in that category. And now I see there's a creative.
There is a creative. No, it's funny. I joke about that because even when I was, working in accountancy, I'd obviously talk to, because I just talk too much. I'll talk to people in marketing and the other departments, and they're thinking, and I was giving like tips and stuff on, why don't we do that on the branding side of things? I go, that's not your remit, kind of thing. But that's not your role. Equivalent to stay in your lane. That's what they're trying to say, obviously. But then I'll do stuff and then do things creatively. And then when we used to have AGMs and things, it was amazing because you got the creative license to do things. And then when people go, but aren't you supposed to be an auditor and a square? Kind of thing.
But that is true, isn't it? True. Accountants, auditors, they're very personality-wise, they lack.
Well,
I was thinking of the word boring.
Yeah, boring, but okay, controversial, but no, but
I apologise. If you think I'm wrong, come on the show.
You've got 60 seconds to prove it.
Exactly. So did you design your logo then?
Yes, so this, what I've got a badge on right now is basically a 20th anniversary commemorative badge for Emerald, but decided to devote it to Palestine. We call it almost like a poppy for Palestine. And the design behind it I did was the 8-sided black octagon. Our logo, the normal Emerald logo, is 8-sided octagon anyway. But we thought black for Dome of the Rock, Al-Aqsa, so dedicated to the shape of that. And obviously black dome, obviously Al-Aqsa. And the ceiling of Al-Aqsa, it got patterns, it's 8-sided. The red is dedicated to the lives, obviously. The white is the peace we pray for. And the green is the land that's been partitioned.
Amazing. Because I was going to say, it's only someone who designs a logo knows how much love and thought goes into that.
The meaning behind it.
Exactly.
It's not just...
Exactly. And I think that's what we can now be a bit more creative, because obviously not being harsh on the Muslim scene in particular, but it's easy, let's be honest. We can just put crescent, moon and star, we're done. That's a logo. But then we're more than that.
That's fantastic.
About the women, you were saying that it's 2/3 are women. How do you think you've seen them grow over the last 2 decades now in the professional scene?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think the beauty about the professional scene, where once upon a time on its paper labels, doctor, dentist, bankers, lawyers, accountants, that's the standard. But now, mashallah, and especially the last 10 years out the 20, it's been phenomenal. We are now seeing people in every field going, and that's where it's almost like eye-opening to say, right then, Salma, where you from, what do you do, and all that. Air traffic controller.
Wow.
Okay, right. Next, jewellery designer. Next, journalist. I've got my own business.
The scope is so wide now, isn't it? And it's fantastic to see these women in these spaces and positions, and not just at the lower side of it, but
everyone's smashing it.
Top of their game.
Absolutely. So when we've done events for International Women's Day, highlighting the Emerald, females within Emerald, we've done panel discussions and things, and it was almost like the difficult decision was, who do we shortlist?
Wow.
Because
so
easily, because you can do 6 people, no problem. can we do 8? No, that's too many.
Yeah.
Can we do 4? Yeah, we can do 4, but who do we leave out? So it's almost like incredible.
It's a good headache to have.
It's a good headache to have.
We had it before, though,
no,
did we?
it's true. Because or they'll be too shy to be on camera and things like that.
But even just the opportunity wasn't there. I mean,
exactly.
I'm not gonna lie, I got married when I was young, and to have a degree and a career, my dad was like, "No, you can't do that. You do it if after you're married, but you're not doing it before you get married."
It's a classic.
So that a lot of that generation
missed out.
Whereas now, like even me and you, Shafia, that our generation missed out. Whereas now we've given everyone so many opportunities. You've got to grab it with both hands.
And then that's what we say. So the intention of these events is just to inspire one another. So inspire one another. So whether irrespective of gender, but just to say, you know what, great that my daughter can do that, whatever, or encourage one another to say, you know what, my wife, she can balance career with whatever. Is the world's always saying it's cliche stuff. Ceilings are there to be broken.
I love that. That's amazing.
So we've been to a few events together, and we were talking about this before we started recording. But when we go to these events, the ethnicity is very balanced, imbalanced. So what can we do? Because obviously we're Bengali. We don't see many Bengalis in these events. What can we do to raise the profiles of Bengali? I don't think we get enough exposure.
It's true, actually. I think there's amazing initiatives out there. So, for example, we just had a joke off camera. Obviously, 20 years ago, there's something called Bob Network. So Bob Network. There's organisations, great like Brit Bangla. These things. There's people like Abdullah and Aisha. They do the BBPI 100, so British Bangladeshi Professional, and it was an Inspiration 100 list. There are people doing good stuff, but my perception is obviously it's that silo mentality, and that's not been harsh, definitely not been harsh on organisations, but as an observation, Bengali, we can shout and pat one another on the back, but that means you're just shouting amongst your own selves. Echo chamber. Why don't you go to stuff that is Muslim? Why don't and that sounds a bit strange, obviously, but the fact is they don't. And it's not just for Bengalis. I've seen there are some, admittedly, Emerald, probably 2/3 are probably Pakistani. It's just the way it is, but great, celebrate whoever, but why don't Moroccans come? Why don't Somalis come? Why don't Bengalis come? And when I was speaking to some people, they were a combination, we prefer our own thing. I thought, wow, that's a shock, because it shouldn't be like that, but you accept it, we're all different. But those who get it, i.e. broaden their circles and networks, they've had an amazing time. So of the few Bengalis that I know, obviously, they've smashed it, mashallah, and inspiration for their businesses or profile, opportunities opened. Give you an example without naming him, but he's I think he's a financial controller or director for an international law firm, and we worked together to do Eid in the City, literally a global law firm, bang on near Liverpool Street basically, and happens to be Bengali, background, which is amazing. Opened the doors for this collaboration.
Is it a natural thing though for us to just gravitate
stick to your
towards?
own?
There is a little bit. I don't think it's anything discriminatory, is it?
It's intentional.
No, it's just I said natural.
But I think it's intentional sometimes. But there's a comfort, isn't it? There's a comfort of kind of gravitating. We've got similarities.
But I'm
we
saying
have
the
things
people that organise it. It's not intentional that they keep
No.
away.
Because that shout out will go out to whoever. But
exactly.
who uptakes it? Because imagine we do a shout out for, say, like a gala. We've got a gala coming up basically, or an iftar event. It goes to everybody. It's on so many different social platforms. But who books? The ones who want to go. And the ones who don't want to go, whatever their reasons are, whether it's price, location, dates, clashing or whatever. But if it is sadly to do with nationality, that I prefer to stick to them. It's a shame. But then it's not a problem, because for my intention for Emerald, we're here to be open for
everybody.
Exactly.
Welcome to the Muslima Sports Association, where empowerment and sportsmanship meet for Muslim women. Dive into our world of sports, tailored exclusively for you. From the exhilarating teamwork of football and the strategic plays of netball, to the challenging strokes of dragon boat racing and the precision of fencing, whether you're looking to find your strength in wellness classes or experience the thrill of the NFL, we've got it all. Join a community where faith meets fitness, courage and camaraderie. The Muslima Sports Association, where every Muslim woman discovers her champion within. Visit us today and kickstart your journey to greatness. Your sport, your sisterhood, your strength.
So what future plans do you have for Emerald?
Yeah, we'll continue. So Emerald's ethos has always been ABC, to keep it really simple, which is Muslim Arts, Business, Charity. So that's the ABC, Arts, Business, Charity. Really easy to follow, and inshallah going forward, I said before about quality over quantity. So do few but epic things. But it's all collaboration based, more than ever before, because there's only one of me. Obviously, got an amazing team of volunteers that come and go, but to shape the program for next year, I've got some exciting stuff that obviously I can't announce too much, basically. But one thing I can announce that we are going to be one of the partners for Abu Dhabi Modest Fashion Week.
Oh, Sal, you want to do that?
Fashion show? Get yourself over.
Get her on the catwalk.
Any models, here we are.
No
I think
pressure.
Models need to be.
No pressure.
It's all right.
Sorry, say hi for models.
Yeah.
For the children's range.
No. Oh, that's harsh. That's harsh.
Sorry, we're trying to behave when
This
we
is
have guests.
sponsored by Mothercare. I also.
No comments.
I think she just represents the real Muslim women.
Thank you.
No. But on a comedy level, I would say. No. Allow me to finish. There's a comma. There's a comma. It's not like, and that is it, basically. And cuts. In 2019, Emerald were one of the partners for Dubai Modest Fashion Week. So it's the same organisation. And because of my photography, they said on the last day when there was no runways and stuff, did you want to do a workshop on modest fashion photography? And I thought, I'd love to. I put together a presentation and one of the breakout rooms, like conferences to have. And I thought, that's great, no problem. And they said, literally on the day of the final day, oh, there's been an issue. And I thought, oh, great, nobody wants to book and see me kind of thing. But no, we've been oversubscribed.
Oh,
so do you mind not being in that workshop room, but being outside? And I thought, yeah, because Dubai being Dubai, glorious sunshine. It's a rooftop terrace kind of thing. And they go, you're going to be on the runway. So we've got the massive LED screens, chat show style, couple of sofas here. And it's going to be till the eye can see runway left and right. And I thought, oh my gosh, it's quite intimidating. So I'm pretty humble, confident. I can speak on stadium. It's not a problem giving the mic anyway. But first time ever, I thought, oh my gosh, my heart's going, oh, this is intimidating. I thought, and it was literally till the eye can see. You can imagine the runway. And then I thought, right, I need to do something for almost like to get the nerves and kind of. And all I said was like, when they gave me the mic before I sat down, and I just obviously first of all thanked everyone, said Salma, thank you so much. I'm overwhelmed and humbled by the turns out. And then I paused and I thought, right, do something that's quite funny, but in my little head, I think I'm hilarious, obviously. And then I just went, our brothers and sisters, just want to say this is the only time you're going to get someone who's 5'6" on the runway. And they just started laughing because that's it. Throughout the last 3 days, everyone's 5'10", 11, 6 foot. Yeah. And then this is the miscellaneous men at 5'6". And then obviously they could have said, stand up, I am. But it was actually funny, and that went down really well.
What's been your biggest highlight?
You know what? Very strangely, I'll be honest with you, it's got to be the amount we've raised for charity. I'll be honest, alhamdulillah, it's been nearly £2 million we've raised over 20 years. Our response recently to the Gaza situation, in just obviously sadly since October, but irrespective, we've obviously done fundraising before. It's been phenomenal. As in, we responded when it happened in October. We did something in 5 weeks. So it sounds like a long week, but that 5 weeks, we put the shout out within 2 weeks. And in 3 weeks, we've got 440 odd people. This is in West London. We did a gala equivalent, but not celebratory. It's almost like, quite reflectionary. And we had obviously the Palestinian ambassador. He was there. A few other notable keynotes. And on one evening, I think we raised about 95,000, which is amazing.
Mashallah.
And then this year, we thought the 20th anniversary, instead of one iftar, let's collaborate and do 2 iftar. So we did a Friday and Saturday back to back at the Waldorf, which is obviously stunning, as you know. And that was £200,000.
Mashallah.
That was just phenomenal. So combined to say, in a calendar year, we've done 1/3 and just through the power of connections. That's not just that, but every cause, so whether it's response to Bangladesh floods, Pakistan earthquake, cyclones, whatever it's basically, recently we had Libya and obviously Morocco and stuff. Whatever the cause, we just say, look, if the Ummah can come together, put aside our differences and do something for charity. And it's amazing, just the power of word of mouth. So one thing proud I'll say, alhamdulillah for everything, is the spirit of people coming together for charity. That's
And I think that's what the Muslim Ummah is,
isn't it?
Yes.
We do get together.
Really well
we do
when
get
it's
together.
like a full cause.
Yeah, absolutely. And then the other, on a novelty level, obviously, yes, we can say we're the first to have done iftar in the Gherkin, and it's just stunning as a venue. But this year, we collaborated with a number of organisations, so people like Naz Legacy Foundation.
Yeah.
And
That's Mrs. Nazir.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
My old head teacher.
Oh,
Yes,
is
I
it?
remember.
Oh,
That's
wow.
it. Absolutely.
Oh, I didn't realise she was connected to that. Oh,
That's it. And then
fantastic.
the BCBN, which is Better Community Business, that was Sabah, Sabah, and for ourselves. So three-way we got together, and we wanted to do Eid lights, but London Eye.
Ooh,
So we, unbelievable. So 20th of April, vividly remember it. And it was literally
green, isn't
it?
Yeah,
emerald green, and it just went out in a circle. And then the animation, I obviously chose 3 different shades of green, tealy kind of greeny, bluey kind of colours, and it was white for representing the moon, seeing that you can imagine the London Eye in a circle. Then the rest will be green, and as it cycled round, there'll be more white to form the full moon. And then it will restart all green, and then restart again. So round and round.
I think you've got a strong vision. That's what you can.
I
like that.
But visually, it was stunning. Iconic. Everyone knows London Eye kind of thing. So to say genuinely, wow, be seen in green, and that was amazing. And then we were lucky enough to go into a pods, and it was just mad just to see, and obviously all lit up green.
How come we haven't been to that?
I know. Yeah.
Receive any negative?
You can go next year. If we can get it secured again. Yeah, exactly.
But do you receive any negative backlash for raising funds for Palestine?
Yeah, I think it's a case of, I personally haven't, obviously, but you get some people, and I always say, and this is just another observation, I'm naturally quite a smiley person, but it does dismay you that sometimes, especially on social media, the comments and stuff you get. But the comments are, ironically, it's our people. It's not the external.
Really?
And they are people who, I always say, the people who know me the least or know Emerald the least, ironically have the most to say.
Okay.
Really?
So if you break that down as a sentence, you think, what does that mean? But basically, you don't know me, you don't know us, but you've got a lot to say.
Yeah.
How come you haven't been lobbying for this? How come you haven't done it before? And I would say, well, we've raised a third of $1 million, but you're welcome to do something yourself.
Exactly.
Oh, the line's cut up. And you're on a landline, bro. I didn't say that. I mean, if you've got the ability to type, obviously can't be too sarcastic, but people do get emotional. And I just think, look, please look for the goodness and positivity instead of ranting.
I think that's the thing as well. The Muslim woman needs to support one another.
Yeah.
We don't always do that a lot. We try to put each other down,
exactly.
isn't it?
Well, put each other down, or we've seen the other one. It's all intention based. If your intention was on point, obviously we seek forgiveness for shortcomings, but there are some who just imitate instead of collaborate.
Yeah.
And then when
That's a
you
lot
go,
of competition, isn't it? Like someone they want to be better.
That's it. And it's the worldly thing. And I thought, and you sigh because you're thinking they're literally, this is obviously going to be seen by a lot of people, but they'll know who they are. They'll, as organisations, they'll pick the same venue that we've done. They'll pick the same speakers.
I was speaking to someone the other day actually, and they said exactly the same thing. So they've done something, and now they've got someone that's now copying them. And trying to why do that for? You've seen someone be successful, support them and go and ask them if they need any more support and help to be bigger and better.
Exactly. I think it's all through the passage of time. Obviously, alhamdulillah, we've been going for 20 years, but in the early days, not going to lie, obviously you do get upset and you think, oh my gosh, this is crazy, they're doing this. But then now you know what, Allah's watching everything.
Yeah.
And when you know spiritually
the thing
strong,
I always look back on is even for MSA, we've got a lot of now female-led organisations doing sports, and that's alhamdulillah, that's been inspired by MSA because we've been successful and we've inspired lots of women to get back into sports, and that's inspired other little groups to set up, and alhamdulillah, that's what we want. We want more females in sports.
And that's funny.
So I'm not gonna
take it as a compliment.
Absolutely. That's exactly. A lot of people say imitations, flattery, all the cliches, but it's so true. So now when people are using these flagship mainstream venues, and if it's a Muslim event, that's great. Indirect dawah. Bonus to them, obviously. And if they're doing fundraisers, obviously, good luck.
The more money raised for that,
better.
For the cause, the better.
Yeah, exactly. That's how you have to
and
see
profile
it.
raising and stuff. And give people opportunities geographically. Something's happening in South London, East London, West London.
And you're still part of that driving force, aren't you? You were that maybe the inspiration or the motivation to get them going. So just take it as a compliment.
Oh, absolutely. No, to me, alhamdulillah.
Yeah, exactly.
You had a couple of more questions, didn't you?
Oh, I did.
She's got all of her questions written out because
sorry, I
she
can
forgets
forget
them.
I had another one. Where is it? Sorry. Oh God, it's not even coming up.
That's your shopping.
Sorry, you carry on.
Why the colour emerald? I'm curious. Why the colour emerald?
Emerald, I would say, is synonymous with Islam, is in terms of colour green.
Yeah.
The colour green synonymous with Islam. it's, we know in terms of as a connotations, but instead of making it totally just using the word green and something, we have connotation with the environment and stuff.
And emerald just sounds
and emerald is quite lifestyle
fancy,
based.
Yeah,
exactly. So we'll make it chic,
fancy. Let's
lifestyle.
be serious.
And obviously now, seriously, it's funny that obviously, especially amongst the Muslim community, you know, alhamdulillah, it's stuck within the words. When people say emerald and stuff, they know, it's an organisational network.
It's your whole wardrobe,
exactly.
emerald then.
No, today was product placement.
Green little limerick.
Oh no, but you know what? Sometimes for branding's sake, you have to be.
No, I just laugh. Obviously, I do love the colour green. Obviously, and I've got a retro Adidas tracksuit, you know, which will be seen in green kind of thing, basically.
I think we covered all the questions.
Oh, that's it. Thank you very much indeed. So finished.
So we have,
Yes, do you want help reading it?
There was one.
We just
memorable shoots. Oh yeah. What was one of your most memorable? I think we asked that, didn't we?
Did you ask that already?
Yeah.
So professional these two.
I'm telling you.
It's all right.
It's all right.
It's all right. Yeah. We are just filming.
Do you know why I invited Rooful as well? Because he's a United supporter.
Yeah, I know. No. Representing. We're not going to fall out now.
So we were celebrating City's win.
Yeah.
And then what happened on Thursday?
Exactly. Nothing happened on Thursday. Nothing to see.
I know what you were saying.
It's just depressing. I think it's been the
we have a Spurs supporter in the room, by the way.
Arsenal.
Oh, it's Arsenal.
Oh my gosh.
He told me as well. He told me.
Yeah, we know the story and everything. Don't you remember?
Yeah.
Keep the peace.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But anyone who's interested in Emerald or...
But he was supporting Spurs.
She's still on the football.
Yeah, I know.
Sorry. You're supposed to hate Spurs more. That's what you're a Northerner.
Exactly.
Supporting the London team. You don't get it.
I just feel sorry for Spurs.
We would never say that about Liverpool, would we?
No. Literally, I'm just double checking. No, dry. That's the thing. Oh, Liverpool losing. Oh, what a shame. There we go. But obviously, that's not happened that much this year.
Seemed pretty at the top. Unfortunately.
Who are we going to ask now?
Yeah, sorry. Back to Emerald.
Back to the reason.
No, just if someone's watching or interested or wants to be part of these networking events, like how do they? Is there a criteria?
No. So we're on every single social channel, and it's simply at Emerald Network. So if you just look up on Instagram,
and it's open for anyone.
The gala you've got coming up.
So the gala coming up on next Friday, 27th December. It's Royal National Hotel in central London, and that's like a goodbye to the 20th anniversary year. But we're doing it in support of Gaza. So the charity is called SKT. We've collaborated with them throughout this year.
Yeah, they're quite a good.
They're very
my
good.
son's raised money
for them
as well.
the 100% donation policy, and the CEO, mashallah, on the ground, and the sent footage and things. They're amongst the first the trucks to go through the Lebanon route, through basically the Egyptian route as well. So we're just going to do an end of year reflections and connections. We'd love to say party time, celebrate, but it doesn't feel right. So our actual 20th anniversary, although this is this Gregorian calendar year, we'll pause and do it next year. So we decided to carry it forward. So there will be an equivalent to Smile, Time to Celebrate, but that will happen next year. But this year we'll just see out a gala. It's still a slightly somber gala with reflections.
So where can they get tickets?
Yeah, they can get tickets via the link on the bio at Emerald Network on Instagram.
Okay.
That's it. And if people want to know, easy other site to remember, link.bio. So link as in LNK instead of LNK. So lnk.bio. So link in bio /Emerald Network.
And is there like a criteria? Like people watching might be thinking, it's just the accountants.
No, quite the opposite. In fact, if I had a doorman, I would say, no accountant, sorry. Joking. No, we want diversity. We want to tick the diversity card. Anyone but accountant, no. We just want to say anyone and everyone. I think the main thing is that it's intentional based. If you're just there to have a good time, you're there. If you've got just 100% intention just to promote your business and sell, that might not be for you, basically. So that hasn't really happened. But there are some events where if you've got one agenda only, you may struggle. It's just open networking, chance to chill, chat. Exactly.
Connections, isn't it? Making new friends and in a safe environment.
Absolutely. That's the
Thank you for coming on.
It's
really
been a pleasure.
enjoyable.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
Thank you so much. No, I've learned so much because I've been following on Instagram, but I guess I didn't know half the things. So
you can't join. You're not professional.
No, you can't.
That's why I asked that question. I was like, can I please come to one of the parties?
I've overridden it. Don't worry.
Thank you, Rooful, for coming on. Thank you for watching the EmpowerHer Play podcast. You can watch all of our previous episodes on whatever podcast platform you use, and we will see you next time. Thank you.